Is it recording? It is. What's up? I am Jessie. I could speak louder probably. So here's the thing. It is 10:05 at night. That sound is me eating a popsicle. Not one of those little ones, but like one of those jumbo ones, you know? Yeah. So you're going to hear that for a little bit longer. A while longer. Given the size of this popsicle, probably about 15 more minutes. So anyways, I have no music anymore. Maybe I do. Oh, what was that sound? I still don't edit my videos. Or not even videos. I still don't even edit my episodes. I'll get to it someday. I'm a bit jaded right now. A little bit. So we moved into the van. Full time almost a month ago. A couple more days it'll be a month. And so we were doing great. We were sleeping in like Kmart parking lot. We went camping. The first night that we went camping, I don't know why, but we went to this place that I've been terrified of since I was a kid. So I don't know why I thought it would be totally cool to take my children there and try and camp overnight. I have no idea, guys. So yeah. So we were doing fine, you know. We'd sleep somewhere. Sometimes we'd spend the night at Keith's. Sometimes my parents had the girls and I would just sleep in the van by myself. Most of the time, though, we just found cute places to park. Not even really cute, just like, whatever, close to the bathroom. We were really getting used to it, getting our feet wet. So then each day we would like go to the storage shed and be like, oh my gosh, we do not need this. Oh my gosh, we do not need this. And just kept unloading shit that we don't need in our van. Now we are down to bare minimum and it's been lovely. But 3 weeks ago now, for no reason at all, I decided that I was going to leave PA. I remember I hung out with Keith on his days off, and then he went to work, and I was going to go to work from his house. I was just going to hang out at his house until I had to work at 2. And I texted him. That was on a Thursday, and I texted him, and I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he's like, what? He's like, you just got a new job. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and it's super upsetting that I would go back to work at this job when I don't even like Warren, PA. And Warren, PA doesn't like me. Like, that is a mutual distaste for each other. Warren is the only place I've ever dealt with police in a negative light. It's the only place I've not been able to keep a job. It's the only place where I feel super unwelcome and uncomfortable in my own skin. Flat out. It's just how it is, guys. I will never want to buy a home here. I do not want my children being taught in these schools or being around the children of the people who I went to school with. Yeah, so basically I hate Warren. I wouldn't say hate. I'd get a little nostalgic in fall and winter time. But anyways, so yeah, I told Keith, I was like, I'm going to leave tomorrow. And we did. Me and the girls woke up, we gave hugs and kisses goodbye to Keith. We went and seen my parents, had breakfast with them and my sister and my brother-in-law. Then we took off for Ocean City, and it was great. I mean, here's the thing. we made it to Ocean City fine. And I was like, oh yeah, we're cruising, right? And, like, my goal was to go there, get a job to where I could park the van close and the girls could just, like, chill in the van, like, open the doors and just, like, hang out. And, basically there wouldn't be any issues. Like, I could work, like, a 5-hour waitressing shift and then have my tips, go get us girls something to eat, find a place to shower, and just chill on the beach. Like, that's what I thought my life would be, right? Except for this. I couldn't find any job. I mean, there was plenty of work to do if you had an apartment to place your children in, or with a babysitter, or if you could take your children to a child facility to watch your children while you are working. But there was no place where I could, like, park my children in a little cove, blah, 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 and work. So I was like, okay, we're going to head to Tennessee. I was like, but I want to go to DC first. And so, first off, I feel like I'm just telling you all the bad stuff, so this might start off on a negative foot, but, like, there were good times too, and I'll get to them. So anyways, we start heading towards DC. And we get to DC and everything's great. I get lost and I back into a car. Now, nobody was hurt. Neither of the vehicles were hurt. It was just really stupid because the car was so little bitty that I couldn't see it and I felt so bad. The guy was super nice, though. He was like, no, it's fine, but could I have your insurance anyways, just in case my bumper falls off on the way out of here? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm so sorry. So he was super nice. We drove through the protest area in DC, and I want to say that it was both super sad and then super inspiring. Like, as much as sad as it was 10 times more inspiring to see people out there putting in the work, putting in the risk. It was awesome. I got emotional. I'm getting emotional now. It was great. Unfortunately, like, my plan in DC was to, like, go to all the free museums and blah, blah, blah. But with everything going on right now that we can't say because of monetization, not that I get any fucking listeners anyways, like, I'm literally just talking to myself on the phone. Anyways, everything going on right now, only one museum in DC was open. Guess which one it was? And I think it's so funny. It was like the Museum of the Bible or something, and I was like, of course your dumbasses would be open. Of course. And I'm not taking my children to that. Are you kidding me? No. So yeah. So we left DC, and we headed for Tennessee. We had a tire blowout, and we spent like a whole fucking day in Virginia. We ran out of money, like, in Ocean City. Yeah, and I told my dad, I was like, if I can make it to Tennessee and make it to Puckers and get a job at Puckers. Puckers was my first surfing job ever. And to this day, probably my favorite surfing job. Because Puckers is like a hole-in-the-wall bar. It's where all the nitty-gritties go, and I just loved it, okay? But anyways, so I get there, the lady doesn't even talk to me. She's like, we're full. Go to Crawdaddy's. And I've worked at Crawdaddy's before. So I went over to Crawdaddy's, and she gave me a job. Here's the problem. I still have 2 babies in a van. So I have to park and they're not babies. My daughters are 7 and 8. Okay? I still, though, have to park my van close enough to where, if they need me, they can literally step out of the van and into my workplace. Or vice versa. So that I can keep an eye on them. And Puckers is the only place that in Gatlinburg that does. Crawdaddy's does not. And so we left. We spent a week, or not a week there, but we spent like 4 days there. We went swimming. We went swimming a lot. Here's the thing. At this point, Keith had sent me money twice. My parents had sent me money twice. My sister had sent me money twice, and I was all out of my own money. I went and I started asking for help. There are no resources. None. Nobody wants to help. And that's fine. They're not obligated to help me through my fuck up. I guess. So anyways, though, we were like, we're leaving. When people wouldn't even let me pay for a shower. Like, I had the money. My dad sent me money. And I put money in the gas tank. And I bought some groceries. And I had like $10 left. And I went to like 4 or 5 different campgrounds. And I was like, can I just buy shower time with this money? No, we don't do that. Why the fuck not? Like, one campground even goes as far as to have locks on their bathroom. Like, imagine being, and I know locals there. Like, I know locals, and I know what my friends who are locals just went through with the fires and everything. And, like, being completely out of home, and you have locks on your showers. Are you kidding? Yeah, Tennessee really sticks together. Anyways, that's probably just my own personal, because I'm an outsider now. I realized that when I was down there. I don't fit in with Tennessee. There's nothing wrong with Tennessee. I still love Tennessee, but I don't fit in there. I've changed so much since 2016. Since even 2014 when I was thriving down there. I do not belong in Tennessee. It actually makes me a little weepy. But anyways, the whole time that we were gone, all 3 of us girls were missing Keith like crazy. Like, honestly, I couldn't fucking breathe the whole time. It felt like somebody took a gallon of tar and just poured it in my stomach. That's what it felt like. And, you know, he's like, just think of it as a vacation. He's being super supportive, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's being Keith, his great self. Yeah. And then, let's see, what cool things did we see? Okay, so when we were on the beach, we seen these little crabs. The girls and I dug them up. And we seen the jellyfish. And we seen wild horses. I'm trying to think. I seen this awesome bridge. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know where I was. I have no idea. But this is the best way I can explain it. Okay. And some of you still won't get it. In Crash Bandicoot 2, there is this level up on the top. It's on the top level. And it's on the top floor. And it's a high level. It's called Road to Ruin. And in this game, in this board or whatever, in this level, you are jumping through you're jumping from like stack of stone to stack of stone to stack of stone, and you're going through bridges made of stone. Well, anyways, it's very cool, but it's all in the dark, and it's all raining, and all you can see is like lights, like red lights, and then like the silhouette of the board that you haven't gotten to yet. Like you can just see the silhouette. And that is what this bridge looked like at night. And I swear, as much as I was driving it, it felt like it was like 10 miles long. But it was amazing. And I know I was driving over water the entire time, and I was just, I don't know, happy in that second. But anyways, when we were in Tennessee, I started to realize that I had had a manic episode. And in that manic episode, I threw my children in a van with $150 and took off with no way to take care of us. Like an idiot. So, I came back and I dropped the girls off with my parents, and I went and spent 3 days with Keith. And I felt so much shame and embarrassment over what I had just done and what I had forced the people who loved me to do, which is send me money while worrying about me and my children. And I don't know if people were worried about me, and that's fine if they weren't, but to make people worry about my babies, to put my babies in that kind of predicament, shame is all I feel. So, Keith went to work and I came out to my parents to get my girls. And after you're manic for a long time, you just get sad. Unbearable level of sad. And I picked a fight. And I told Keith that I want him to move to Maine with me for my next big adventure, which I don't even know if I'll see through. My next big adventure. Yeah, and he broke up with me. And yeah, it's been a week since that happened. And I get it. Like, there's no hard feelings or anything. He just wants different stuff than I do. And all that really is he doesn't want to leave, and I can't stand being here. He's literally the only thing that I care about here. And like, for a lot of people, they can paint this picture of love is enough. But like, what good am I to the person I love if I'm constantly miserable and constantly without a job and unable to provide and bring my fair share to the table? What good am I of a partner? That's no way to treat your partner. You can't just be half-assing it when you love someone that much. I'm very torn up about this, so, you know. But now, I can't say this is the first time or the last time that I've done this, but I sat myself down when I got back. And I literally gave myself like the sternest talking to that I could. And I was like, what do you even want to do with your life? What is something that you will seriously work towards, you know? And I've always said the same thing since I was little. If I can make people happy and be able to share my opinion and my voice, be able to see the world like, and I'm not talking about, oh, I want to jump on a jet and fly to New York City for lunch. No, I mean, that would be great. Let's not pretend that that would not be. But I mean, like, I want to have a way to be charitable and feed people and take care of people and take care of myself and my children. And I want to show my daughters that there's more benefit to giving than just consuming all of what the world is offering right now. Because in the world right now, it's just you work and you work and you work and you kill yourself to afford these things that mean nothing. It means nothing. And you get into this routine that you're just forced into. You get married, you have kids, you buy a house, you take out a car loan, you put yourself in thousands and thousands of dollars of debt to try to prove to other people that you have value. Just to try to prove to other people that you are just as cool and wealthy as them. I've seen it. I've sat in circles of people who are breaking themselves to make it look like they are not poor. And to make it look like their marriages aren't failing. To make it look like they are happy with their careers. I can't find myself fitting into that ever. I can't find myself buying into that scheme, like, at all, ever. And I grew up in vans and bunkhouses and trailers and campers, in the backseat of a fucking Pontiac, like, I don't think that I'll ever stop making these crappy decisions until I get it right, what I feel is right. And I will never achieve that here, I don't think. I was in college and I tried to start a kid choir. I was like, hey, our school district does not put on Christmas concerts or spring concerts for elementary school kids anymore. It's like every other grade or whatever, and I think that's stupid. But anyways, I was like, so, have your kid ride the bus to my house. This was when I was in a very lovely apartment, okay? 3-bedroom apartment, beautiful. I was like, have your kids ride the bus to my house. I made up medical things, like little, so that I was aware of any medical issues and, emergency contacts and blah, blah, blah. And I had set up transportation to get all these kids home, or they could be picked up. And I would feed them an after school snack because I love to bake and cook. And, I had medical sheets to write down allergies. And everybody was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then nobody did. Nobody Nobody did. And I guess a normal person would be like, oh, maybe they don't trust me with their kids because I'm a bad person. But here's the thing. I know that I'm not a bad person, and I'm sure that that's what a bad person would say, is that they're not a bad person. But, like, I know that people do not like me around here because of how I feel about the world. That is it. Okay? That's it. I disagree with people around here on a lot of things. And it makes people uncomfortable. And they don't want me spreading that to their children. Not that I would. Like, I wanted to teach your kid how to sing Jingle Bells. You know? And Peter Cottontail. I didn't want to have your kids join a coven and make voodoo dolls of Trump. Although I have considered that option for myself. Moving on. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I tried to start this charity, right? I wanted to call it Homies Helping Homies. Because I wanted to be super chill, but here's the thing, this is the group of people that I want to focus on. See, for every kind of demographic, there's help for them, you know, there's help for the single mom. I've received financial assistance before because I'm a single mother. Excuse me, I burped. You know, there's financial help for veterans, and financial help for, I'm trying to think. Oh, men who are halfway housing from prison to out into the free world. There's help for people with intellectual disabilities. There's help for pregnant women. There's help for married couples moving into their apartment and everything like that, right? And while I think that that's all great and wonderful, I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to get the help that they need. I would never want to exclude somebody if they needed help. I feel like unless you do a immoral act against somebody else, you deserve basic human rights. You get to eat. You get to have a safe place to sleep. You know, you get to shower and be clean. And you deserve the opportunity to succeed. But anyways, I wanted to focus on, you know, the runaway. You know, I wanted to focus on the 25-year-old that, you know, I'm not the one who's not in a relationship, not pregnant, not in college, but they're working their 60, 70 hours a week and still have to choose between groceries or rent because they don't qualify for any kind of help. You know, that those people are constantly just glazed over. I want to help more with Black mothers, period. Like, I want to be able to advocate and get single Black mothers into college. Like, I feel there's plenty of Black women in college, but I feel like there should be so many more. There's so many brilliant women. And there's white women have that opportunity, but I feel like Black women are not given that opportunity, and even they especially don't get that opportunity if they have children. It's just, it's possible, it's just not common. And so, yeah, I wanted to set up this program where we adopt a grandma or a grandpa, and you just check on elderly in your community, you know? I wanted to travel and do this. I'd like start in my community and then travel, you know, and work through, and then have meetups, van meetups, where I just pick a spot and like, hey, if you want to meet up, bring a garbage bag, we're cleaning up this area. And I thought that would be wonderful. And I wanted to do this thing with my daughters where we find a tree, obviously, like we can buy a tree that is native to whatever area we are in and plant it. Like, I feel like you can never plant enough trees. Like, you literally couldn't. We could knock down all these broken down houses and just like I don't know, plant a tree. I'm ranting. But anyways, my community would not allow me to do that. They wouldn't. I tried to start a photography company. Every year I've invested my taxes into myself and into my success. And I bought lights and backdrops and camera, and I had the whole setup. I bought a laptop to editing software, and nope, people won't allow that. And then I'm venting, and I'm sorry. Maybe I won't post this episode. I was crying earlier, so it's probably not good for, like, my look or whatever. I don't even have a look. I asked somebody what my aesthetic was. They put an alien and the fucking hang tight sign. Like the hang loose emoji. Whatever. Which is true, I use that a lot, but... I do love space. But anyways, so, like, right now my goals are, like, up in the air, but I do know that as soon as possible I'm moving to Maine. Yeah, I'm gonna move to Maine, and I have a 10-year plan of maybe starting my own bakery. Maybe I could just not travel in the van full time and maybe go into a little bit of the scheme and be able to take care of people with a bakery. Oh, I want to make it a bakery/bookstore, by the way. And yeah, it'll have, like, coffee and tea. But, like, I don't know. If I could, I want to make, like, bread, obviously, from scratch. This all started with bread. Because I had this idea when I was on the road, like, when I were in the van still. But I had this idea that every time I would stop somewhere, I have this big gumbo pot in the back of the van, and I would just cook, and I could make some bread in my Dutch oven, right? And then, it's $1 for a bowl. Or if you, like, donate and you get you can have a bowl of my food, okay? If you don't have any money to donate, obviously, you can still have a bowl of my food. The point is to feed people, The donation is just to give back and to make sure that I can keep putting food in the pot, right? So then I was like, okay, maybe you should give up on the van and start a bakery. That way I could buy a building. Okay, just like one of those skinny, cute buildings just tucked away in a little nook of the city. And me and my daughters could, like, live happily in the upstairs apartment. And I could go down in the morning, 4 a.m., and put the bread in the oven and start the donuts and frost the cupcakes. And then if somebody came in and they were like, hey, I'm hungry, and I'm like, what do you know? I got you. Here's a bagel. Here's a coffee. Like, and with the bookstore, like, it would give sober people a place to hang out. Like, I do not have that here. If I want to hang out with people, I have to hang out with people who drink, and I have to go to a bar. I can't go to a bookstore and just sit down and read and relax. And and just be around people. And I don't even, like, because I think people don't understand that. Like, you don't have to talk to socialize. Like, if you sit over there with your book and I sit over here with my book and, you know, we're just reading and I get to exist around people, that would be great. And if I like the cover of your book and ask about it and we strike up a conversation, that's awesome. Does that have to continue when we leave the bookstore? No. But if it does, excellent. Like, and I'm not even like, I just wonder if people have communities outside of bar life or work friends. Like, and I feel like I should clarify that I'm not afraid of work. Okay, like I've done my 16-hour shifts when I worked in the medical field. You know, I've done my overnights. I've done my working 10 days in a row with no breaks. You know, I've worked at a ski resort where I worked 16-hour days in the middle of a ski season, fucking outside in the snow, middle of the snowstorm. You go home. And by the way, that was before I had a license. So I was like walking. I walked 3 miles up a fucking mountain to get home, grabbed my kids from daycare, made it home. It was awake long enough to fucking feed my kids a sandwich and eat half of a sandwich, fall asleep in my work clothes, and wake up and do it again the next day. Like, I'm not afraid of work. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not afraid of work. I do work. COVID fucked a lot of shit. But I'm not afraid of work. But I'm just saying that I don't want to get drug into another 70-hour work week job where, I'm replaced in a matter of seconds as soon as I don't conform to their idiot fucking mandates. Like, I just want to be able to be my own boss and say, if you come in this store and you need my help, you will get it. And if you come into my store and all you can do is criticize my workers and get in their faces and mistreat them, I can tell you to get out and go fuck yourself. I want to be able to leave something to my children when I die, because we all know that that's inevitable, me dying. At what age, I'm unsure of, but it's there. I don't talk about my daughters when I'm sad, and I don't know why that is, because when I'm sad, they're the only thing that gives me clarity. Like, it's all just a haze sometimes. Like, I just watching everything exist, but it's through like I have cotton in my ears or something, and it's all just hazy. And then they're just like that clear thing that I see that I just focus on them and they just get me through it. And that's not their jobs. They're little tiny girls, It's not their job to take care of me, but they do, It's not their job, but they do. They see me sad and they give me their hugs and they give me woogies and kisses, and I don't talk about them enough, but every action I take is for them. And I slip up so much, but I do good. Maybe I just needed this episode to vent my frustrations on life without having to put myself at the mercy of anybody else listening. I don't have followers on this podcast, so that's totally cool too. I don't blame people. I just know that I have to pick something soon, and I have to focus on it, and I have to try to break all all the stuff. I have to break the cycles of being manic and then being sad and being self-destructive. And I really think that a bakery and a bookstore would be awesome because I love books and I love baking. And if I could wake up and bake and then sit down and read a book, I would be in heaven. And then be wealthy enough to where I could be like, hey girls, we're going to DC for the weekend, and take my girls to see museums and have the money to be able to eat food and put gas in our car. That would be great. But I have to buy into the scheme a little bit to do that, and I'm no good at it. I'm no good at it. I won't post this. Maybe I will, who knows? I'm irrational and unpredictable. Deplorable. But I will make it. I won't be one of those 70-year-old people that has all those regrets. Keith will be a regret. Maybe. I'm thankful for the time that I had with him. I might regret losing him. But other than that, I'm not. I won't be sitting around wishing that I had done this and done that. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take my kids with me. And maybe when they're 18, they'll be like, Mom, I just want to get a job and a house and some kids and go to college and get a dead-end job. If that's what they want, then I support them. Maybe they'll be like, I'm done with this bus. But if that happens, I want them to have a little bakery or bookstore. Or something, anything that I can give them. Where I can be like, this one thing I left for you guys, and I hope that it carries you through. Something that I could literally just pour my heart into. That it could be mine. I am going to post this. I am. And I'm going to spend my life helping people. I don't care if I'm broke my whole life. I don't care if I have $2. If I see a person standing with a cardboard sign, they're getting one of them. Shit, they're going to get two of them. I don't care. There's always money somewhere. You can always get a job and work. I will just help people when I can. And I'll always love my kids. I won't fail in that department. And I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I don't know if I'll ever figure it out. I'm running out of time. It says 45 seconds. Yeah, maybe I should go to bed. This was featuring Jessie. Have a good night. Let me know if you need anything, because I'll be there. And that's all.